Hello, dear Dweeb. Buenos dias. How are we doing? Hola. Today's poem is called A Colossal Glossary, and it is a huge poem, so I'm going to get right to it today. I'll read you a little preamble, and then it's quite a long poem, but it's full of wonderful words that I hope you enjoy at least the sound of, if nothing else. I would urge you to go and Google these words. Very, very enjoyable that they are. Paul Muldoon is today's poet, and his career as a poet has included a spell as the Oxford Professor of Poetry, one of the highest honours you can have, alongside the Poet Laureate, as well as being a poetry editor of the New Yorker magazine. And most of his poetry is serious. This alphabetical array is strange and surprising, and a very light-hearted tour of the English language. Okay, here we go. It's called A Colossal Glossary. The aardvark's a kind of anteater, an earth pig in Dutch, while abracadabra is a charm much favoured by alchemists. As for that wine-coloured gem, the amethyst, a Greek would place it in his cup so as not to be drunk, a thought no foul-mouthed Anglo-Saxon ever thunk. Azure is the blue of lapis lazuli. The bandicoot is a rat from Australasia that likes to browse or graze the tender shoots of rice. A carbon copy is a replica, though only once or twice. Yellow or green, chartreuse is a liqueur, distilled as always by monks. The coypoo prized for its fur, not so the wild dog or dingo. An eland's an African antelope. In medical lingo, an epiglottis is a tongue, an esophagus a gizzard. A glitch would be a snag or hazard. The ibex is a mountain goat. IE is short for id est, in Latin that is. A pain in the side was once a jade, a word which we now use of the greenish stone deemed to mend the stitch. A jennet might be a jade in the horse sense. Soldiers in khaki uniforms tense when they hear the siren song of a klaxon, since it is almost always represents a call to action. A lagoon is a shallow lake, usually on the coast. The nocturnal lemur is essentially a ghost. A lilo is a rubber raft, while a limousine is a vehicle whose occupants, thankfully, can't be seen, since they're the often types who say moi from me, and have a penchant for drinking sparkling mongoose pee. Whipped cream is the main ingredient of mousse. The narwhal relies on its tusk when hunting Eskimos. Nebuchadnezzar was the king of Babylon, for whom the writing on the wall was plain as can be. A nicety may either be a subtle or idle distinction, as such its own rebuttal. The oryx, like a gazelle, is thought by lions to wallow in self-pity. An osier is a type of willow. A pickle is anything preserved in vinegar or brine. As one pine opined to another, pitch pine. He that toucheth pitch shall be defiled, though pitch more commonly refers to asphalt. The root of prehensile is prehendir, to seize. You may already have grasped that a quagga is a wild ass. The ruble and rupee are Russian and Indian coins. To be scrupulous is to have qualms of conscience. From scrupulous, a stone with a cutting edge. The reed with razor-sharp blade is a sedge. Tamerlane, also known as Tamerlane or Timur, was a Mongol king whose deportment was anything but demure, his stock in trade being rapine and reprisal. The tapir lives as a hermit in the rainforests of Brazil, where it meditates on theology. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was algae. A no less avid theologian was Thomas de Cormeda, whose cruel stake ran the gamut, from burning at the stake through hanging by a gaff to the flaying of some fatted divinity calf, all in the name of truth and justice. On the subject of thrice great Hermes Trismegistus, or his Lord Lieutenant Zoroaster, my lips are sealed. I will say this, a trundle is a castor. Often mistaken for a llama or alpaca, the newly shorn vicuña spits at the thought of a Norseman or Viking who stole the shirt off his back. The chief sense of a winnow is to fan, to separate the wheat from the chaff, the sheep from the goats, good from evil. It's hard to categorize the xylophagon, this wood-boring weevil. Makes of something zilch, just as worm may contain an armada, little much. All the meanings of all the rest, of the words in this book are buried in one, a treasure chest.